So I'd been channeling Ananda a year, and I was house sitting out of Venice, and a friend of my sister's died. His name was Malcolm. He was an English guy, and I had met him. He was a really lovely guy. And she was just devastated, and so she went to his funeral on the weekend. And she had had lots of readings with Ananda over that winter, so she was coming over on the Monday night to have a reading. She was just crying all the time. And so she was due to come over at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and about 4 o'clock I tuned into Ananda, and they speak to me about all my personal stuff all the time, so I just channel them and then I record it and listen to it. And so I was just tuning in before Hannah came, and they said there's someone here who wants to speak to Hannah. And nobody else I hadn't channeled anybody else. And they said, it's Malcolm. He wants to talk to her about dying. And so she had been to his funeral that weekend. So, and I knew Malcolm, and they said, will you allow him to come through? And I said, yes, of course. I mean, I was just like, whoa, I had no idea that this was going to happen. I thought it was just me and Ananda forever, you know. And then they came through, and then Malcolm came through, and he talked to me for about 5 minutes, and he said, in a very strong English accent, your sister's having a really hard time, and I want to talk to her about what it's like to die. And so I said yes, and then my sister knocked on the door. I opened it, and I said, you'll never guess who wants to talk to you. It's Malcolm. So I channeled him for an hour for her that day, and he told her what it was like to die. He said he was having a great time, that she didn't need to be sad. That he said he'd been at his funeral with her, but because everybody is so grief-stricken, no spirits can communicate because it's such a low vibration for them. They said it's like having loud static playing on your radio for them. Oh, wow. When there's a lot of people in deep grief. So they really can't do anything in that circumstance. And so he said his mum had died the previous year, so he said he was spending a lot of time with his mum. They were having lots of cups of tea and talking about their lives. And he said he was just about to have his life review, because he'd only been gone about a week, I think, or our time. And then after he left, the next morning I channeled, and Ananda said, there's a long line of beings here who want to speak to you. Are you willing to do it? They're all famous. So what they told me was that connection to my sister and Malcolm opened the door in me, the willingness to let another entity come through. And then I said yes. Well, I thought about it, and then I said yes. So the first person who came through was Albert Einstein. And so each person talked about their life and how it relates to their spiritual lesson and what they want us to know based on their experience in that incarnation. So Albert's message was, we have to bring spirituality into science. That it's because science has no spiritual aspect to it that we're killing ourselves with our technology. That was kind of his essay. And so I was like, wow, Albert Einstein. And then the next day, Jerry Garcia came through. I didn't even know who Jerry Garcia was. I was like, some 60s guy, I don't know. And anyway, he was really funny because I had an American accent, and I'm like, yeah, man. It was like totally 60s dude came through. And his essay was on the importance of sobriety in your spiritual practice. To only use drugs and alcohol recreationally and occasionally, that 99% of the time you need to be clean and sober to raise your vibration enough for spirit to connect. So if we're using drugs and alcohol all the time, it keeps our vibration down, and we get a relief from our chattering mind, and that's why we do it. But really, if we want to connect with spirit, we have to clean up and only do it occasionally. So that was his message. Anyway, it went on for a month, and so I did 20 different people in 20 days. I think the third one was Ralph Waldo Emerson, who talked about the importance of nature. Marilyn Monroe came through, and it just was one big name after another. It was an amazing experience. I was just going to work every day too, so I would channel Elizabeth Taylor in the morning, and then I'd go to work and try and live this ordinary life. It was quite an amazing experience. So that the book came through in a month, and I had all these recordings, and I had just got the publishing contract for the Making Love to God book. So I contacted the publisher and I said, this has just happened, are you interested in publishing it? And they said, yes, we'll do it. They didn't even really ask. So both the books came out at the same time, September last year. So over this winter, all of the celebrities have come through several times, some once, some 5 times, and so I've been kind of practicing bringing them through. But this is the first time I've sort of done a public thing, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to let Ananda come through and they'll have their say, and then we'll see who shows up. Now, we're with you again, dear ones. Indeed, you are privy to a wonderful, wonderful event here. This being, this body-mind we call the dear one, is a very, very clear channel. This work that has been done for the last decade in her mind, and we will speak about this a little bit because this is what your life's purpose is. It is to clarify the mind. Why? Because the mind is the creator. The mind is what makes your life your life. It is what makes your experience your experience. You are not taught this in your society. You are very body focused in your society. You believe in the body, you believe in physical action in the world to change things. But that is not the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is that everything follows mind. Everything is mind. Your entire experience is happening within your mind. It is not happening in the world. If you think about an experience that you have, you observe it through your body's eyes, but the processing, the understanding, the comprehension, the emotion and the feeling takes place within you. And it is not taking place within your body. It is taking place within your mind. It is all mind. And so this is where your learning in your society is very, very counterproductive, because you are taught to act, you are taught to work hard, you are taught to struggle, you are taught to do many, many things. You are taught to change your body through what you eat. This is not how you change your body. You change your body through how you think. You change your life through how you feel, how you focus your mind. And these all arise from the beliefs you hold to be true within your mind. This is the teaching that we are bringing through, and so we bring different demonstrations of these truths to you in languages that you can understand, because your comprehension is dependent on the mind that you possess at the moment, the beliefs you hold at the moment. When you have a set of beliefs in the mind, you cannot comprehend something that does not conform to those beliefs. It is an impossibility for you. The mind will not tolerate it. And this is why this work is very challenging for people, because when they read that a being is going to transmit messages from deceased beings, there are many, many beliefs in most people's minds that are triggered, that prevent them from coming to a meeting such as this. So we will say we honor those of you who are here because you are brave. You are stepping out of your cultural training. You are entering into the world of the unknown. You are entering into the world of the expanding mind, the expanding heart, the expanding emotional body-mind. This is where your growth takes place, outside of your comfort zone. It takes place where you are uncomfortable. Just as when you are training for a physical event, let us say a marathon, if you are not a runner, you have a long way before you even start running. You must first decide to do something. You will then entertain the idea, walking. You will exercise a little more. You will change your diet a little bit. But always, always, it is the mind focused on the goal that will motivate you, that will bring you through the physical, mental, emotional actions that you need to reach that goal. So for many of you, you have a goal of consciousness raising. You want to feel different. You know that there is more than you are being told. And that is your emotional guidance system talking to you. That is why you are in the room. You know there is something more than this three-dimensional world, this body, these muscles, these jobs that you have, you know there is something else going on, and something in you is prompting you to explore consciousness. So we say, well done, but we must work where people are. We cannot work with what you don't know, what you do not accept. We must work through channels that you are willing to look at. And so this particular book is designed to catch the attention of those beings who are intrigued with entertainment. It is no mistake that we are engaged in a project using such famous people. Why? Because your society cares about fame. Your society cares about celebrities. Your society cares about movie stars and musicians. These are the things that, in general, Western society cares about. Now, we are fully aware that we are on the jewel of an island called Salt Spring, and that is not always the case here. Our dear one is always reminding us of that when we generalize about Western society, that Salt Springers are a little different. That is why we told her to live here, because she has the opportunity to work in fertile soil. She has the opportunity to garden in a place where many, many weeds have already been removed from the minds of the beings. And for her, this is an important gestation period so that she can expand herself into doing this work. As you can imagine, this work is a challenge for any mind to surrender to. This is a big job that this being has taken on, and so we bring many non-physical beings to her assistance every single day to shift her energy, to open her mind, to get her to surrender to this process. But this process is her life's work. This process is something that she has taken on as her life's work. And so we are honored that you are joining in this process. Your life's work is to wake up. Your life's work is to expand your consciousness. Your life's work is to eliminate from your mind the thoughts and ideas that cause you suffering. There is no suffering outside of your thoughts and ideas. That is the only thing that causes you suffering. If you suffer in the physical body is a demonstration of the thoughts and ideas you hold in your mind. It is a physical manifestation of what you are thinking about, what you are valuing, what you are repeatedly saying to yourself every day. It is a physical demonstration of what you believe to be true. So even though you have a physical body and it seems to attack you, or it seems to be fallible or to let you down somehow, this is all a physical demonstration of the non-physical. So in your world, as a secular world, as a materialistic world, that is why we are here, because you are delving into such depths in the material, secular consciousness that you are struggling more and more. You are becoming deeper and more deeply involved in the physical, in the non-spiritual, through materialism, through capitalism, through warmongering, through worshipping of the body. These are all things that are causing more and more suffering on your planet. And so we are here to assist in you understanding what is going on, to assist you in understanding how to prevent yourself from hurting yourselves anymore. Your society is destroying this most beautiful mother on which you live, and it is time for intervention to take place. There are many, many non-physical beings who are involved in this work. It is happening all around the world. There are many channels bringing this information through. But there is a concerted effort now on our part to bring information through in great quantities with great energy behind it, so that you may step back from the precipice that you are rapidly approaching on your planet. So today our dear one will bring through 3 different beings. We are going to choose the beings to come through based on those of you in the audience. We will bring through the beings that will speak to you the most. We will bring through the beings that will enlighten you the most. We will bring through the beings that are in accord with your vibration and that will speak words that open your mind, that open your heart, that open you to new horizons in your own consciousness. This is not about observing somebody else's journey. This is not about a circus trick that is for entertainment. This is not for entertainment. This is for you to open your mind. This vision of a being that you know, a vision that you see at the coffee shop, a vision of a person that you see living an ordinary life, you now see transmitting information that is out of your realm of understanding. This observation alone is expanding your mind. This observation alone is triggering beliefs in your mind that are against truth, that are resisting truth. You may feel fear, you may feel discomfort, you may feel disbelief, you may feel the urge to leave the room, but we would counsel you to sit in your discomfort. Your discomfort is your mind expanding. Your mind is used to being within certain parameters. Your mind is used to receiving certain information. We are now going to bring information to you that your mind, your body mind, is not used to processing. It is going to get uncomfortable. It is going to feel otherworldly in some sense. Some beings will feel sleepy. Some beings will feel agitated. Trust that this information is affecting you in a positive way. We bring love only. We bring a desire to expand your mind, your consciousness, so that you may begin to have a different experience. You experience your consciousness. If you are suffering, if you are sad, if you are struggling, you are experiencing your consciousness limited. If you want to remove suffering from your life, then you expand your consciousness and you will have a new experience. So this is about us offering you new experiences through this transformation of mind. And so we will pass our dear one over to the first being, who is Ralph Waldo Emerson, who will speak about nature, who will speak about this natural environment in which you find yourselves. This is such a lovely opportunity for me to come in and share my consciousness with you. My life as a naturalist, as a theoretician of philosophy, I would say, that is what I did. I wrote about life. I wrote about the natural world. I wrote about consciousness. I am part of that group that you would call transcendentalists. We were seeking information about consciousness. I lived in a society that was very, very restricted in its expression. There were many, many rules. There were many, many societal parameters that the ordinary person would not cross for fear of chastisement, for fear of being ostracized from their family and friends. But I had a desire in my mind when I lived to experience God. That was my purpose. And so as I ventured into nature, this was where I found inspiration. This was where I connected to that which you would call God, that which you would call higher mind. And it is that I wish to speak about today. I wish you to understand that from our point of view, when you are ensconced in urban activities, when you are shut in your room with your televisions, when you are locked in your cars listening to radios, there are blocks up that we cannot penetrate. There are blocks up between the physical and the non-physical that we are unable to cross. And so we ask you to take time out in nature, to take time out in this physical environment that you are designed to live in. Your Western world, and I was part of that Western world, it was beginning to become urbanized. It was beginning to become that which you are living in now, but it was not as rigid a structure as you are living in now. I was working to grow. I was working to illustrate spiritual principles. And this understanding came to me in my life, that I was to be outside, I was to be in nature. This was given to me as what you would call a download of information, this knowing that that is what I was to do. And so I did that. I ventured into nature. I wrote about nature. I spent time in nature. And this is, from Spirit's point of view, the place to go when you are seeking to communicate with us. We would say to you that there are many of us here who are open to talking to you, that are open to helping you create. We can work with you through your writing. This is a place that we enjoy very much when you are handwriting, this is an easy place for spirit to connect with you. And so we would say, if you want to connect with spirit, to do that, to go into nature and to write longhand with focused intention. This is a place where we are able to assist in your development greatly. When we come to you in your physical incarnation, and we are always coming to you, we are always experiencing your consciousness through our consciousness. We are given assignments as non-physical beings to assist various personalities to raise their vibration, to open their consciousness. And so we come to you seeking breaks in your mind, seeking quiet times when you are not active in your thoughts, because that is interference from our point of view. The peaceful mind is the mind that can receive information. The peaceful mind is the mind that can be communicated with from our point of view. So this is where nature comes in. This is where taking a stroll along a beautiful leaf-strewn pathway, the sunlight dappling through the leaves will bring you to a state of vibration that we can connect with you. Do not traipse along that path worrying about your rent. Do not traipse along that path resenting somebody who has upset you, but clear your mind. Sit on a log, take some time. Do not stay in this manic do Western mindset all the time, but stop, breathe, look around you. Look at the horizon. Imagine, begin to allow the mind to open, the body to relax, the thoughts to subside, and you will find that very quickly you will begin to get ideas. It is difficult for the busy mind at first, but we would say to you here, practice, 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 for the realms that will open up to you when you connect with spirit are far more magnificent than this limited three-dimensional experience that many of you are having. You are locked in small ideas, limited thoughts, and you will enjoy the horizons that come to you through these practices. Trust us, there are many of us who, in our earthly incarnations, tried to open up the mind, and many of us succeeded. Some of us are in this group sharing information with you so that you may too learn how to do this. This is the path to happiness. It is not in ownership of objects. It is not in the accumulation of money. It is in the opening of the mind, the heart, and the emotional body that you will find that which you are seeking, which is peace. You are all seeking peace in your own way. You just do not know what you are. How you are going about it is confused, not because you are stupid, not because you are incapable, but because you have been taught the wrong things. So this is why we come together here as a group to bring this information to you. For many of you, when you go for a walk in the woods, you think you are wasting time. You are spending your time the most efficient way you can. Spending time in nature is the most profound spiritual practice that you can undertake at the beginning of your journey. We are here, we are waiting to communicate with you, we are waiting for your mind to quiet, to encounter you, consciousness to consciousness, creativity to creativity. This is the path to what you seek. You see, when you pass over and your ego mind falls away, when you come to see what it is that's important, when you come to see all of the thoughts and ideas that you had in your mind that were wrong, that were limiting, that were fear-based, that were too concerned about what other people think about you, these are the things that you will kick yourself for when you pass over, for these things are of no consequence. These things are meaningless once you pass over into the non-physical. Non-physical is about love, non-physical is about your creativity. The more you can tap into these realms when you are in your physical body, the more consciousness evolution you will experience. This is my message today. Go out in nature, take photographs of it, paint it, draw it, bring a leaf home, make this your meditation. This is your path, your doorway into higher mind. It is the quickest way for the ordinary person to tap into spirit. We're with you again, dear ones. Indeed, this is our message to your bodies, as you perceive them to be, have evolved over many, many thousands of years in natural environments. They are designed to eat natural food. They are designed to breathe clean air. They are designed to be in the sun and the wind and the rain. Every time you step away from those environments, you lose a little bit of what you are. The ultimate truth is that you don't need these things. The ultimate truth is that this is not your natural home, this planet. That is why many of you feel alone here. That is why many of you suffer here. But in the short term, in your initial phases of consciousness evolution, we want you to spend time in nature. It is there that you will find a wholeness that is not reachable in your houses, in the boxes in which you live. Take time to go outside. Take time to let the rain fall on your face. It will give you a reconnection to that which you are, which is part of this place, the creator of this place, the energetic manifestation of that which you would call God is contained within nature, as you are part of that same thing. We will return in a few minutes. Ooh, hello.